Welcome, Lumineers and fans of the happiest card game on earth. My name is John T. You've just been put in the inkwell alongside all of the Ruby cards from Ursula's Return. I think probably Ruby came out the best out of all the colours this set. There's some really great stuff here. Starting off with a 3-costed inkable 2/6 with 2 lore, Beast Wounded, our first Ruby Beast, Storyborn Hero Prince with That Hurts. This character enters play with 4 damage. It's an uncommon card with art by Ian McDonald. So it's coming out as a 2/2 for 2 for 3, which is obviously understated, but what it does do is let you turn on all of the new moving damage counters, stuff that we're seeing a lot in Amethyst, and also some of the classics such as Rapunzel in Amber from set 1. There's a few cards doing that in this set, and this one is a really great one. It comes down on 3 as a 2/2. Next turn Rapunzel comes down, heals it up, and then you've got a fairly decent sort of tempo shift. You're picking up some cards, and you've got a 2/5 or whatever that can hang around here with Beast. I think the Mulan we're going to look at in a moment is probably better at doing this job, but I still don't think this is terrible. Next up, a 4-costed inkable 5/3 with 1 lore, Benja Bold Uniter, Storyborn Mentor King, common card with art by Eri Welly. Just a vanilla, not really much you can say about him, honestly. 2-costed inkable 0/4 with 1 lore, Fazu, Mulan's father. This is a Storyborn Mentor. I haven't quite got the translation down here. I think it says it can't quest, but he can exert and ready Mulan, and then Mulan can't quest. This is common card with art by Carmine Pucci. I mean, there's something to be said about being able to ready some of the Mulans in this set, especially the legendary one. But honestly, I think you'd rather play LeFou to let that happen rather than have this come down and survive a turn. I just don't think it's a great use of resources here to have a 0/4 that has a lore on it but can't quest, and it's a bit goofy, this one. Alright, now we're into the good stuff. 2-costed inkable 2/2 with 1 lore, Flynn Rider Frenemy, Storyborn Hero Prince with narrow advantage. At the start of your turn, if you have a character in play with more strength than each opposing character, gain 3 lore. Super rare with art by Mike Moo. I mean, this is kind of broken, right? Like this, to be honest with you, this seems insane to me. At the start of your turn, if one of your characters has more strength than one of their characters, or than each of their characters, you gain 3. I mean, that just seems crazy. It's gonna mean that you want to play a lot of the stuff with big strength on it, maybe even that 1-drop Reckless. Who was it? The cat, not Lucifer. There was a cat. There was a 3/1 Reckless cat in the last set, I think. Obviously, Reckless means it's probably going to die if they don't have anything shifted. But there's a good chance that you can have more strength than your opponent a lot of the time, and gaining 3 is huge. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. I don't know. This seems insane, this card. Another one, 4-costed inkable 2/4 with 1 lore, Goofy, Super Goof, Storyborn Hero with Rush. And whenever this character challenges another character, gain 2 lore. Rare card with art by Justin Rumfola. Again, this is incredible. I mean, 2, there's not that much that it's banishing on 4 and onwards, but it doesn't need to. It just needs to challenge something and gain 2 lore. It's basically instant 2 lore. And doing some damage to the board. Ghost is coming down on 4 and gaining you a lore, and then pretty much definitely going to gain you another lore. But, this is coming down, getting you those 2 lore straight away, maybe dealing with something. I think this is really good. This is one of those pieces that really is going to help challenge matters. I think it might be there this set. I'm going to start playing around with some deck ideas this week so that when I get the cards I can start playing with them. I think this is really good. This could be the best card in the set, honestly. 3-costed, uninkable 3/3 with 1 lore, Hercules Clumsy Kid, Storyborn Hero Prince with Rush, common card with art by Anton Kutelenk. I don't know. There's better rush targets, really. Fox is doing the same thing and is slightly beefier. Obviously, that bounce thing isn't really as big of a problem as the developers wanted it to be, I don't think. There are some shift targets for Hercules, but I'm not sure this is one of them. Although what I will say, just in case Eric from The Gamer is watching, this is probably pretty good in limited. 5-costed, uninkable 7/3. Hercules, Daring, Demigod, Dreamborn Hero, Prince with Rush and Reckless. Uncommon card with art by Diego Sato. Again, pretty good in unlimited, in limited, honestly. But in a constructed deck, there's no reason why you would play this over Maui, I don't think. Basically, the same card. Maui has got a slightly more interesting stat line. Obviously, the Hercules hits a little harder, but most definitely dies. Yeah, I think Maui still sees play over this one, but again, if I'm doing a Ursula's Return draft, I'd probably play this. 2-costed Inkable 3/2 with 1 Lorcana Beloved Steed, Storyborn Ally with uncommon art by Nicholas Cole. Good to see Nick Cole have some representation in the set. I think this is his only piece in there, actually. But otherwise it's just a vanilla one to keep an eye on in case we ever get Khan Floodborn. But otherwise, nothing really to write home about, apart from the incredible art, of course. 1-costed Inkable 2/2 for 1 lore, Li Shang, General's Son, Storyborn Hero, common card with art by Brian Kissinger. Very standardly statted vanilla. Of note, though, because there is a pretty good Floodborn here in a 3-costed Inkable 3/2 for 1 lore Li Shang Valorous General, Floodborn Hero with Shift, discard a character card, and lead the charge. Your characters with 4 strength or more get an extra lore uncommon card with art by Nicola Saviore. So yes, the previous card is a shift target for this, although honestly I don't think this really needs to be shifted. I think this can come down on 3 and be pretty solid. Doesn't need to exert for its ability, and it's just going to give your slightly higher strength characters an extra lore. There was a bit of a memey weight set deck that went around a little while ago. All these sort of things just make it a little bit more consistent. This is actually pretty good, and I think it goes quite nicely with the next card as well, which is a 2-costed Inkable 2/2 for 1 lore, Lumiere, Fiery Friend, Dreamborn Ally with Fervent Address. Your other characters get +1 strength. Rare card with art by Valentin Palombo. This is really good. I'd be honest with you, I do prefer the Lumiere art we got previously to this one, but I prefer this mechanically as a card to the previous one. This is actually pretty cool. We've had these kind of lords before. What was his name? The Duke, I think, Grand Duke, and it was all princesses and kings and queens or what have you. This is just everything. This +1 strength. It doesn't seem like much on the face of it. Okay, +1 strength. It's something we don't normally rate very highly, but this is going to help you get a lot of characters past the Medusa problem. It's that 3 strength that Medusa is just able to pick off on some of the biggest hitters in the game. Tragic Hero, Robin Hood, Champion of Sherwood. There's so many. There's a lot of new ones in this set as well. Loads that sit at that 3 that are just going to get picked off by her on at 6. Lumiere is going to get them not only past that, kind of is Tremaine proofing as well, because you'll pop Lumiere before you pop any of that bigger things. So yes, you probably only get a turn out of him, saving them, but I think that's actually pretty good. I think this is a really solid card actually, and most likely will see play in some slightly more challenged focus Ruby decks. 6-costed Inkable 2/6 with 2 lore, Mulan, Elite Archer, Floodborn Hero, Princess with Shift 5 and Straight Shooter. When you play this character, if you use Shift to play her, she gets +3 strength this turn, and triple shot. During your turn, whenever this character deals damage to another character in a challenge, deal the same amount of damage up to 2 other chosen characters. Okay, a lot of words here on this legendary card with art by Nicola Saviore. Beautiful art, great card. Kind of very surprised it didn't get enchanted, honestly. I thought it was a shoe-in until we saw that final Sisu, which is also very nice, but I did expect a Mulan. This is really good. So when you shift this character, it's a 5/6 that does the 5 damage to 2 other things as long as it hits something. So this can come out on 5. It can hit a 1/1. They've got a 1/1 out on turn 5. It can hit a 1/1, kill it, and then do 5 damage to 2 other things. The amount of damage that Mulan deals is not the amount of damage needed to banish the thing. The excess damage is dealt to it. So this is coming out on 5, shifted, doing 5 damage 3 times up to. That's a really good line. I mean, it's basically a board wipe for the most part. I think this is really great. Definitely goes in a Challenge Masters deck. Most likely might just sort of see play in general Ruby decks, honestly. General Ruby. I actually think this is really good, and she has a pretty good shift target. I think it might not be this first one necessarily, but this is okay actually. This is a 2-costed inkable 1/3 with 1 lore Mulan, enemy of entanglement, storyborn hero princess with time to shine. Whenever you play an action, this character gets +2 strength this turn. Uncommon card with art by Jared Matthews. First of all, in case you're wondering, yes, this does stack. So if you play an action, she gets just 2 strength. She then becomes a 3/3. If you then shift that other Mulan on, would become a 5/6, but the +2 from the action carries on over, so would be a 7/6 at that point, and would do that 7 damage 3 times for a total of 21 across the board. So yeah, pretty good shift target for her, to be honest with you. I actually quite like this next one as well, although I'm not necessarily sure they go in the same deck. No, I think they probably do. I think this is probably going in a Mufasa build, a Ruby Amber build. This is a 1-costed 2/3 with 1 lore Mulan, injured soldier, storyborn hero princess with battle wound. This character enters play with 2 damage. Common card with art by Jared Matthews. And yeah, just another good Rapunzel target. Another good move damage around target with the bells in Amethyst. And then also just a good shift target for the big Mulan. Obviously the damage does carry over there to the shift one, but that's not the end of the world. Yeah, I think this is very playable as well as a common. 3-costed uninkable 2/3 with 1 lore Namari, heir of Fang, storyborn villain princess. 2 weapon fighting. During your turn, whenever this character deals damage to another character in a challenge, you may deal the same amount of damage to another chosen character. Rare card with art by Cassia. I'm not even going to pronounce that surname, Cassia, I'm sorry. This is like a mini Mulan, I guess. You know, this is hitting one thing and carrying on that damage over somewhere else. It's only hitting 2, though, and, you know, that uninkability is going to be holding it back. Would love to see a good Namari. I feel like she's getting so close and isn't quite making it across the finish line with this one, unfortunately. 6-costed inkable 7/5 with 2 lore, Nessus, River Guardian, storyborn villain. Uncommon card with art by Justin Rufola. Just a big old beefy boy. I think the game has moved to a point now where you're just not really putting vanillas into a constructed deck of any sort of value. There's just going to be something else you'd rather play on that cost. If anything like Street Rat or Pulcana or whatever you want to call it ends up seeing more play, this is the kind of thing that might go in as the top end of that. But even then, there's a lot of uncommons that are doing some stuff when they're hitting the board that just this one isn't, unfortunately. 4-costed inkable 4/4 with 1 lore, Noi, acrobatic baby, storyborn ally, and my new sleep paralysis demon. This is fancy footwork. Whenever you play an action, this character takes no damage from challenges this turn. Super rare card with art by Denny Minoni. For some reason I don't love the whenever you play an action. I don't know why. It doesn't seem awful. You're going to be singing stuff all the time, right? Can you sing something in Ruby and then this kill off a couple of things? Well, no, it's only hitting one thing. It doesn't ready or anything. I guess a 4/3 that can take out like a fox or something and be okay. Maybe this is okay. I'm struggling a little bit to value this one. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I'm not sure about this one. Oh, I did that YouTube thing where I said let me know in the comments. Ugh. 2-costed inkable 3/1 with 1 lore, Pegasus. Haven't got this one in English, but it's evasive, basically. A 2-costed 3/1 evasive. Common card with art by Kenneth Anderson. Sure, fine. Don't really rate this. That 1 on the evasive but is never good. It just gets picked off by other stuff. If he's quested for 2, maybe I'll be a little bit more interested, but otherwise I don't think this is doing anything other than killing surfer minis. Oh, hello, buddy. Welcome. 3-costed inkable 3/3 with some lore. A German dude's face worth of lore. Raya. Super rare with art by Peter Brockhammer. I have absolutely no idea what this card does. When it's played, move a damage. I'm going to have to Google it. Hold on. Oh, right. Whenever this character challenges another character, gain 1 lore for each other damaged character you have in play. Oh, right. Okay. Sure. All right. This may see a bit of play. I don't know. What was that one? Was there a song in the last, or was it an action in the last set that just pinged everything you own for 1? and readied them. You know, a few things out, that gets played, this hits something and just gets 3 lore. I don't know, just there's things that you can quest for 3 lore, isn't there? There's no need to jump through all those hoops. Another Raya 4-costed inkable 3/3 with 2 lore. This one says when you play this character, ready chosen character of yours at a location, they can't quest for the rest of the turn. At a location is the thing that probably makes this unplayable, honestly. Otherwise, I think it would be okay. Being able to ready something in a Challenge Matters deck is pretty good. Having something sat at like a Snuggly Duckling or something, I don't know. It's pretty difficult to get online, I think. 3-costed, uninkable 1/1 with 1 lore, Sisu, Daring Visitor, Storyborn Hero, Deity Dragon with Evasive and Bring on the Heat. When you play this character, banish chosen opposing character with 1 strength or less uncommon card with art by Otto Paredes. I don't think I've ever been more excited about a card with so small numbers all over it. A 1/1 for 1 that banishes 1. There's so much stuff you can hit with this, it's kind of insane when you actually just start to think about it for a minute. Curse Merfolk, Haram Flavishams, Rapunzel. There's so much good stuff that sees a lot of play that just has 1 on its strength that you can hit with this. You know, obviously, because that ability is actually pretty good, the rest of the card is kind of trash. A 3-costed uninkable for a 1/1 with 1 lore is kind of insane. If this was inkable, I really do think it would see play. I think that's probably the only thing holding it back. Because the ability itself is actually pretty solid, but obviously only if there's something on their board that you can hit. So if they're not playing an Emerald deck that you can hit Merfolks and Flynn Riders with, or they're not playing Sapphire that runs a few 1 strength characters, this is going to be pretty much dead in your hand. So if it was, I know it sounds ridiculous constantly saying that if cards are inkable, they're better, but I genuinely feel like this is a bit of a silver bullet card, and really that's where the inkability should be. It's a shame though, I think it's fun, and I like the fact that we're getting to see a human Sisu as well, that's cool. A non-human Sisu then, Dragon Form. Activated, 3-costed, inkable 1/4 with 2 lore, Sisu Emboldened Warrior, Storyborn Hero, Deity Dragon with Surge of Power. This character gets +1 strength for each card in an opponent's hand. In opponent's hands. So in multiplayer, this is like a 28/4. Rare card with art by Lady Charlemagne. Yeah, this isn't awful, I guess. You know, it's always going to be a 2/4, 3/4, sometimes could be 5/4, 6/4. The problem is though with these scaling strengths, as I've said it a million times, the difference between something having 7 strength and 38 strength is negligible really. Once it can kill some of the bigger stuff in the game, that scaling doesn't really have any effect until we see something that's like, you know, gain lore for the character's strength or something, which I can't imagine we're going to get with the amount they're throwing these strength modifiers around. You know, otherwise not a terrible body. It's not Challenger. It always has the strength. So there's something to be said about this questing a lot and penalizing the whole new world players or the Amethyst players who are just drawing a ton of cards. Yeah, maybe this sees a bit of play. 8-costed, uninkable, 5/4 with 3 lore. Another Sisu, Floodborn Hero, Deity Dragon with Shift 6. And when you play this character, banish all opposing characters with 2 strength or less. This is a legendary card with art by Grace Tran. So, you know, it's a bit of a board wipe for lower costed characters. It's very similar to the Emerald Sing Together song. I forget what that one was called now. Was it Under the Sea? Yeah, it banishes them all to the bottom of the deck, I think, maybe. So the ability is great. The problem is you're not doing it until at least turn 6, more likely turn 8. And at that point, wow, if you're putting this down on turn 8 and killing a pile of 2 strength characters, they're very close to winning. I'm playing Amethyst Emerald. If you're putting this down on 8 and getting rid of a couple of Merfolks, a Flynn and a Rabbit, then how have they lasted this long into the game, you know? Shifting on 6, maybe. I don't know. It's a great body. Questing for 3 is nice. No, I'm not sure this one sees play as much as it probably would like to. It's a real nice statted body. I just think it's a bit too expensive, and its ability is probably going to be too little too late for the most part. Forecasted uninkable 3/6. Tong Survivor, Storyborn ally with Reckless. Common card with art by Mike Parker. Just a doo-doo swings out. Probably won't really see any play. 3-costed inkable 2/3 with 1 lore Tuk-Tuk, lively partner, Storyborn ally with Evasive, and when you play this character, you may move him and one of your other characters to the same location for free. The character gets 2 strength this turn, the one you move that is. That's a rare card with art by Sandra Rios. I don't mind this. If there is going to be a Lucky Duckling deck, we'll take a look at that card in a moment, that cares about challenging. I think Tuk-Tuk is an auto-include in that because it's going to get himself and something else there, and the something else is then going to be big enough to help generate more lore from the challenge. Yeah, I don't really see where else he goes. Could maybe help move stuff to RLS Legacy in a Hawkins deck, or Ruby Amethyst. It could get people onto Queen's Castle a bit more comfortably, maybe. I don't hate that line, I suppose. But otherwise, yeah, I think the place where this is really going to go is in a Challenge Matters deck, maybe getting people onto Thebes or Snuggly Duckling. Moving into the actions then, first up, a 6-costed inkable action song, a Pirate's Life with Sings Together 6. Each opponent loses 2 lore. You gain 2 lore, uncommon card with art by Valentina Graziuso. I'm going to have a bit of a soft spot for this because my go-to multiplayer deck at the moment is a Ruby Steel pirate focused deck. This is the most thematic and very fun card in multiplayer as well, so I really dig it for that reason. But looking at this from a sort of competitive 1v1 mindset, that is how we look at the cards for the most part, because it's the only way you can really look at cards with any sort of objectivity. If you're just going to look at cool cards because they fit in your deck and you like red, we're not able to do these videos. So we have to look at these as objectively as possible. So from is this card good enough for competitive play? No, it's not. I still dig it though. This one might be though. 4-costed uninkable action song, Be King Undisputed. Each opponent chooses and banishes one of their characters' rare card with art by Emily Abidera. So this is Lady Tremaine on a song. You can sing this with your 5-drop and then play Lady Tremaine and most likely clear their board. I kind of dig it. The uninkability is the only thing that's really holding this back, although I do let songs off a little bit for being uninkable, because often the times it gives them a little bit of a leeway in how they're casted. Yeah, I don't mind this. I think this is pretty good. 3 lines from this song now, and they're all good. It's Be Prepared, Teeth and Ambitions, and now Be King Undisputed. Somebody's a big fan at Ravensburger. 3-costed inkable action brawl, banish chosen character with 2 strength or less. Common card with art by R.L. Barbara and L. Gia Michelle. Great art as well, so much fun. I think this is really good as well, actually. 3-costed action that gets rid of something. It's like a mini Dragonfire. If this was a song, it would be insane. As it stands, it's inkable. Yeah, I don't mind this at all. Good common card, very draftable. Probably will see some play in very control-heavy Ruby decks as well. 1-costed inkable item, Imperial Proclamation, call to the front. Whenever one of your characters challenges another character, you may pay 1 less for the next character you play this turn. This is rare card by Devin Yang. A lantern, I guess, in Ruby. I suppose this is Ruby's version of a lantern. You've got to challenge something to make stuff cheaper. Maybe it's cheap enough that you could probably slip a couple of these in and see if it works out for you. I did hear when this was first shown somebody say, oh yeah, imagine this with Scar, and you can hit multiple things and it will stack. I'm like, yeah, but what are you wanting to play on turn 8 that you can't play already? You play 2 things down, I guess. Yeah, it might be overkill to run any more than 2 of these, but I don't hate it. I really need to go and have a good look at all of the Challenge Matter stuff and really figure out if there's actually a deck there or if it's still sort of spinning its wheels. There's another one that goes in that deck, a 2-costed inkable item, Medallion Weights, Discipline and Strength. You can exert this and pay 2 ink to give chosen character +2 strength this turn, and then whenever they challenge another character this turn, you may draw a card. This is uncommon card with art by Definitosum. Definitely haven't said that right. My apologies. There's a lot of ink going into this to make anything happen, really. +2 strength and draw a card isn't terrible. It probably means something's trading up and replacing itself. Whether or not it's worth playing an item and waiting a turn and doing something on 3, yeah, it's not, is it? Yeah, no, this isn't very good. 3-costed, uninkable item, the Plank. Might be my favourite item card art. This is gorgeous. The sea is gorgeous. The little crocodile tick-tock sort of poking out there. The wood on the yeah, it's just a really cute card. I love this. Walk, it's called. You can pay 2 to banish the item and either banish chosen hero character, which is the one you're going to do, or already chosen villain character and they can't quest the rest of this turn. Yeah, comic card with art by Roberto Gatto. This is not good. Yeah, this is pack filler. 1-costed inkable item, Vitalosphere, Extract of Ruby. Pay 1 to banish this item. Chosen character gains rush and gets 2 strength this turn. Common card with art by Sandara Tang. I think if you're going to play an item that costs you ink to banish it, it's probably this one over the Plank. You know, it's a nice cheap item for Ruby Sapphire items. Slightly more playable than the last one, but I still don't love it. It's also a Lorcana original item. There seems to be a few of those cropping up. You know, as long as they keep them to items, I can probably be okay with it. Extract of Ruby, I think that might be the first time that card text has referenced an ink color. You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong there, but I feel like it is. So, you know, a few things worth noting on this one, even if it isn't necessarily playable. And then finally, a couple of locations. A 2-costed inkable, 2 move cost, 9 willpower, snuggly duckling disreputable pub with routine ruckus. Whenever a character with 3 strength or more challenges another character whilst here, gain a lore. And if the challenging character has 6 strength or more, gain 3 lore instead. Rare card with art by Jeremy Adams. The 2 move cost is going to be the thing that makes or breaks this one, honestly. I love the idea of having a Maui here and gaining 3 lore when I kill something. That seems awesome. Although I don't necessarily love the fact that Maui can't work on curve anymore and instead has to be paid 2 to move here. I don't know. Maybe this is already down. Maui swings out not on it. And if Maui survives next turn, you move him here and get another hit and 3 lore before he dies. I don't hate that. But yeah, I don't know. The 2 move cost is going to be the thing that really makes or breaks this one. Again, it's one of these, all this challenge matter stuff. I want to put it in a deck and see what happens. And until I do, I don't think I'm really going to be able to rate these. And then finally, a 1-costed inkable, 1 move cost, 5 willpower, training grounds, impossible pillar. Strength of Mind, you can pay 1. The chosen character here gets +1 strength this turn. Common card with art by Matthew Oates. This is the first location that requires an additional cost to make its ability happen. Normally they've all been passive for the character that's sat here. And because of that, I don't really think this is great. If you're playing this on 1, playing a character on 2, on 3, you can pay 1 to move it here, pay another 1 to give it 1 more strength. Yeah, that's not great, is it? And by that point, it's, you know, it's probably been swung into by a couple of things, seeing as you haven't got really anything contesting it. Yeah, weak locations overall. I really want to see locations do a bit better. But there you go, Ruby. It feels like the second half of that reveal video, I was moaning a lot, but there's some really great stuff in here. I think the Super Goof, a couple of the Mulans. The Li Shangs, one of the Sisus is pretty good. There's a lot of good stuff in Ruby this set, honestly. I'm really excited to see how some of it fits in to the meta. Thank you so much for watching. 2 more to go, Sapphire and Steel tomorrow, hopefully. Love you all to bits. Until the next one, be good.